It's loading right now. Okay, it says I'm live. Let me just check. Testing.
All right.
Okay, console. Okay, yeah, it worked. All right, the water sliding. All right, Shalom. Okay. All right, Slagia. Shalom Bashim Yasha Brakathon to the brothers. Shalom Yahawashimata Bashim Yasha to the sisters. We at I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Now, Slagia for the inconvenience has some technical difficulties. But the topic today, right? I'm pretty sure there's been a couple of things that's been going on, right? The one that I wanted to focus on today, we're going to be talking about heathens, dealing with heathens, of course, and the differences between us. For anybody who's been keeping up, Jonathan Majors, the brother who you probably know him as was King the Conqueror for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He played in a couple of other different movies too. Up and coming, black actor. Well, he was faced with some allegations not that long ago, pretty much stating that he strangled a woman that is now his ex-girlfriend. This is a white woman. But there was very little proof. It was just more of a going off of word. So now he has to face this case. But now we also have this white American by the name of Ezra Miller, who has been faced with multiple cases throughout the years. I'll get into that once we start getting started with the class. And somehow this man is still able to walk the red carpet, still able to play in the new Flash movie, and he's suffering very little repercussions. They're just saying that he has mental issues, which is crazy. All right, so the topic today is, as Israel, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we got to understand that we are not of these people. We are a different people. We have a set of law, statutes, and commandments that we have to go abide by, because when we don't, it don't matter how much money you got, you are still going to suffer the same repercussions as everybody else. So that's the topic for today. We're going to be reading out of 1 Kings 11. We're going to be reading out quite a bit. I'm not going to give it all away just yet, but if you haven't already, if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to start class. So with that, I'm going to get started with the prayer. So Amadim, just me up here, which means to stand. Layasha Allah, which means to Israel. Amadim upon Yahakwadam, which means to rise or stand and face the east. And the reason why, for any newcomers, the reason why we face the east is that's where home is, that's where Jerusalem is, that's where Israel is, our rightful homeland. Now we're going to begin started with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. It's the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'ah, Zaka, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kawa, Bashamayim, Batananawa, Bakam, Ko, Yawam, Basalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Obal, Habashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wataparath, Lawalumium, Amun. Now in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakat, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Lafan Lanawa, Hakat, Rapa'ah, Kol, Makala, Wakol, Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatasarayim, Hakat, Lahaquayim, Hamathim, Hakat, Al Rakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagarshun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for water, Aman. Now in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Miyaka Allah, Wa Alhayim, Madazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapyam, Hasaranyam, Hakwatazayoyim, Hakayayoyim, Wa Agwathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Now in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. This is the bless us like this is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayinya, All, Ahoyim, Ma'yan, Yaba'ah, Izoya, Ma'aim, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, Warataza, Ayadan, Namawat, Wagalka, All Yanawam, Shamorka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Bala'ah, Yashun, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Oyad, Yanimka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wairak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashum. That's like Salakia. Yashamorka, Makol, Rai, Yashamor, Afna Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabu'afka, Ma'ita, Wa'ai, I will love. Now in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all the Miyalaka, all Takarash, all Tashakwat, all Kayahana, all Yevika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Isle Amaka, Ya'amwa, Sawada, Waida, Ya'aitazawa, Isle, Tazapawinika, Amorwa, Lakawa, Wanakakinum, Magoya, Wala'a, Ezakar, Shem Yashala, Awada, Kaya, Nawa, Aitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Alika, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Ahoyan, Anuwam, Wayashima Alium, Awa'aba, Wahagorium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Alasha, Amashabia, Tazawar, Gum, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zorawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamudium, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kalyabian, Banakal, Koyashwan, Nasha Malwa, Bayan, Dara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nada Yamawa, Kairab, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Ba, Wakaza Zalmanai, Kal Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarsha, Lanawa, Af, Nawaf, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagogla, Kakwash, Lapunya, Raka'ah, Ka'ash, Tabaira, Yaira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Hariyam, Kun, Daradama, Basairaka, Wabasa, Wapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'ah, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Waya Bakwash, Salagya. Waya Bakwashwa, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya Bahawa, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Dayawa, Kaya Adar, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ailawan, Alcohol, Harataza. Slag. Shalom on Christ, sis. This is Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still. O God, for lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, to tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A soul also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as to the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red and like Zaid. Yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Almunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as a fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Okay, you may be seated. All right, so we're going to be reading first 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we'll get to the breakdown in the English. So we're going to be starting out of 1 Kings 11 and 1 through 7. So this is the book of the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. Waya ama la'a shalama akab nashayab abaya af. Let's see. Rakayaf Yaaf Kath Paraya Maya Banaf Imun Yaaf Adam Yaaf Itazadan Yaf Akayaf Ma'an Aganyam Ashar Amar Yahweh All Kanya Yasha Allah La'a Atha Thabaya Ma'am Laka'am La'a Ya Ya'an Ma'am Abba Aban Yata'a Af Laba Ba'am Af Akarya Allah Allahayim Allahayim Ka'ab Daba'ab Daba'ak Shalama Laka Ba'a. Let's see. Yahweh La'a Nashayan Shara'af Shaba'ai Manayaf Napa La Gashayam Shalash Ma'anaaf Watara Nashaya Af Laka'a Yahweh like La'if Zabquanaaf Shalama Nashayaf Kataya Af Laba'ar Labaya Akara'a Alahayim Akayam Alaya Haya Labaya Shalom I'm Yahweh Alahaya Kala Ba'am Dayad Abaya Yala'an Shalama Akara Yasha I-S-H-A-T-H-A-R-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-R-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T-H-A-T
Itazadanyam, Akaraya, Malakwam, Shakwai, Abunya, Slakia, Akan Ayash, La Ma'a, let me see. Slakia, Harai, Kai Lanya, Yahweh, Yala'a, Mala'a, Ithara, Yahweh, Kadara'ad, Abayata, as Laban, Yabanya, Shalama, Kama'ach, Laba Ya'ash, Shakwai, Maya'ab, Ka'ar, Ashar, Io, Panya, Irashala'am, Alamala'an, Shakwai, Kanya, Ma'an. Okay, so that's it for the first 7 verses. So now we're going to be reading the 7 verses in 1 Kings 11, 1 through 7 in the English. So this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. So these are women of different nations. So a strange woman, right? We can actually get into the Hebrew definition of what a strange woman is, right? If you do not have the Blue Letter Bible in your phone, I strongly suggest that you get it. I say this every time. It's very good study material. It's very good to study so you can actually get to the root words, because understand that, you know, the King James version of the Bible is made in the English, but you know, the English is not our original language. So some of these words, you want to get to the etymology of the word so you can get the true meaning behind it. So some people might ask, okay, well, what is a strange woman according to the Bible, right? So we're going to get into there right now. So now I'm going to go look up the definition, the Hebrew definition of what a strange woman is. Let's see. That's not the one I'm looking for. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Strange women, 1 Kings 11 and 1. Boom. So when you get into the etymology of like strange or a strange woman, it says the outline of biblical usage. It says foreign, alien, foreigner, a foreign woman. It can also mean a harlot, so a whore, unknown or unfamiliar, strange in variety of degrees and applications, foreign, non-relative, and adulteress. Again, talking about. Slugger, give me 1 second. Sluggy for that. Getting back to what I was saying, an adulteress, going back to what a whore is, a harlot, right? A promiscuous woman, if you will. different, alien, foreigner, outlandish, or strange woman. So when it says that Solomon loved many strange women, this is what it's talking about, a foreign woman, right? That's why we always get, this is like one of the key ones you get into about interracial marriages, right? A lot of people who say they read the Bible, but really don't, because apparently everybody's an expert of the Bible when they never read it. A lot of Christians will say, well, love has no color. And you're right, love doesn't have a color. But love, according to the Israelites in the Bible, you can only truly love somebody who's of your nation. If you get with a strange woman, that is not of the Lord. But we're going to keep reading and show that, right? So this is 1 Kings 11:2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them. Read that one more time. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye, meaning you, shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. So this goes for sisters as well. You're not supposed to be with a strange man. He is a foreigner. He is not of your nation. Let's keep reading as to why the Lord says that, right? For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Now, you can go into the Bible, paraphrasing. Ye shall not worship any other gods. The Lord is also a jealous God. That says that multiple times in the Bible. So the Lord knows that if you start messing with these other nations, you're going to start wanting to do what they do. And now you see that all the time. You see plenty of brothers, they call them, it's a new wave now. It's not really a new wave. They just have a name for it now. It's called passport bros. Now, there are brothers who may go to the Dominican Republic or Brazil or Jamaica. Those are still our people. I'm not talking about those brothers. I'm talking about the brothers that go to Malaysia. They go to the Philippines. They go to Thailand. They go to Japan. I don't know what it is. You have a lot of the fetish for the Asian women, right? They go to these different countries to get these women who are strange unto you. And she could be super nice. She could be kind and all that. Here's the problem, though. That is a woman who is not of your nation. And we're going to read again why the Lord doesn't want you to do that. I'm going to start from the top of verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So Solomon, again, Solomon or Shalama in the Hebrew, right, actually means peace. Like this is a time of peace. When Solomon was king, this is the son of King David, right? And so it says right here in verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. A concubine is also a wife in the Bible, but it's like a wife of a lower status. It's still a wife, though. Just so we're clear, we do not do that today. We don't have concubines, okay? We don't do that. That's your wife. So to roughly estimate, Solomon had 1,000 wives, right? But of these 1,000 wives, they were not all Israel. And his wives turned away his heart. Now, Christians will like to battle this, right? There's a lot of people out there who tuning in the water for Sabbath. Shalom, Lord Christ. So a lot of Christians, they love to battle this, right? They'll read these scriptures. A lot of women who are Christians as well, they love to say that, multiple wives is not of the Bible. The reason why Solomon sinned is because he slept with a whole bunch of women. That's why. No, it's because he slept with strange women. Multiple wives is lawful in the Bible, but strange women is not lawful. So any other Hebrew Israelite group out there who tries to teach that sleeping with women of a different nation is of the Lord, no, it's not. They'll try to argue that Ruth was a Moabite. No, she was a Moabitess. If you actually look into the etymology again, Israelites were not all in Israel. They were Israelites in the land of Uz, aka Job. Some people think that Job is an Edomite because he lived in Uz. No, he just lived there. Like, perfect example. If I was born in China, I'm a Chinese citizen. But am I Chinese? Am I of Asiatic descent? No, I am black. All right. I'm a brother from the tribe of Benjamin. So even though I'm born over there, I'm still not really Chinese. Not really. So it's no different. That would be my nationality. We say this every time. You could take an apple, you could plant it in Africa. You could take the apple, plant it
in Japan. You could plant it in the Philippines. You could plant it in Australia. You could plant it here in America. You can plant it in South America, in the Caribbean islands. It don't matter where you plant the damn apple. The apple's an apple. The apple ain't gonna turn into orange or banana. It's still an apple. You just change the location. That's all it was. So, point being made is you are supposed to be with somebody who is of your own nation. Let's keep going. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after their gods. Exactly what the Lord warned him of. But Solomon, he was very lustful. You know, that's a demon that is very powerful. And a lot of brothers today still struggle with that lust. You're so curious. You're curious. You ever heard that term, curiosity killed the cat? Y'all know what happened with Eve, right? Eve wanted to see what was outside, right? Now, people will say, oh, you know, she bit the apple and all that stuff. No. What really happened was Eve stepped out and started taking in customs of these other heathen nations. Adam and Eve were not the first people. Slakia. That was not, they were not the first people. I can make a whole nother class maybe next week for that. But my point being is she was curious. And because she was curious, the world fell to sin because she wanted to be curious. So if you want to be curious, which a lot of you are, you choose to go outside of your race in a sense, right? Now, in Israel, we come in many different shades and whatnot, right? We don't all look alike. But at this time, Solomon stepped out of his race or ethnic group, so to speak, his nation. And he slept with all these different women. And exactly what the Lord told him was going to happen is what happened. We're going to go back. Verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David, his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and went not fully after the Lord as did David his father. You know, David was a man that was after the Lord's own heart at one point, right? So now he's disrespecting his father. You know, you're bringing shame to your family, right? So now, verse 7. Then did Solomon build in high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, right? And the abomination, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, all of them. So this is a brother who loved strange women so much that he turned his back to the Most High and he started worshiping their gods. He was building temples for them, which is no different than what a lot of brothers do today. A lot of brothers, they'll go to these different Asian countries and you want to get you an Asian woman or whatever, and you start to adopt their customs. You start wanting to learn to speak Japanese. You start learning their culture. You start, like, you'll have children with them, and then they'll start to learn Japanese, right? And here's the thing. Whatever you do your kids watch, like, put it to you like this, right? Let's say, let's say you like a Puerto Rican brother, right? Go out, get you an Asian woman, let's say Japanese, right? You get with that Asian woman, child comes out. Now that child is still Israel, right? But now that child gonna look a little bit like his mama. And guess what she's gonna want to do? She's gonna want to teach her child about her heritage. That child is going to learn Japanese culture. They're gonna speak Japanese. They're gonna learn about their gods and their history. And you know, for us, sadly, today, the most that we could really talk about is slavery outside of the truth. You know, we got here via slave ship. We talk about the oppression and all the horrible things that happened to us. But, you know, we built up our own cultures and, you know, our own ethnic backgrounds and our own identities. But prior to that, it gets a little shaky. Some people say that, oh, you know, we came from Africa. Yeah, we was in Africa, but we were different people in Africa. You can't even identify what tribe you were. You don't know. You take a DNA test, it'll say you're from Sierra Leone, you're from Nigeria, you're from Sudan, you're from Cameroon. And then, oh, wait, no, now you got some European up in you. So now you don't know what to identify yourself as. For a lot of so-called natives out here in the Western Hemisphere, you'll identify with your native tribes, right? But prior to that, you don't know what you were.
Some people say this. Some people believe in the two spirits. Some people believe in, Aztec gods, right? You have all these different gods that you worship, and all them gods ain't come to save you. When them Europeans came over here and colonized and put you on slave ships. So now you got to understand, for a child, you're learning about all this great Japanese heritage. Japanese can date back their heritage hundreds, thousands of years. We can only do it for, 400 plus years, if that. Everything before that is speculation. Just playing a guessing game outside of the truth. So what do you think the culture that child is going to lean more towards? The Japanese culture. They're going to learn all about that. And let's say it's they have a son. Well, he sees his mother, who's Japanese, with you, a brother. He might get him a Japanese woman. And that kid is going to look even more Japanese. It's still one of us, but they don't know at this point. You're not even, you don't got the features no more. So now it gets confusing. But let's say this time, they have a daughter. Now, whoever she gets with, you just never know. She might get with a Japanese man, boom, just like that, your heritage is gone because you are who your father is. All right. We can go to Numbers 1 and 18 real quick. Let's see, the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. It's really no different than what you're used to today, right? They kind of do it here in America. Most of the time when a woman gets married to a man, what does she do? She takes on the name of that man. Your name might have been Smith before. Now, your husband's last name is Williams. So, okay, now you're Williams. You're the house of Williams now. And all your children are going to most likely bear the name of their father. That is their father's, they are the seed of their father, right? But it gets tricky. It gets very, very tricky, right? So you want to refrain from that. Now, I'm not going to focus too much on the lineage, right? The whole point of this is to stay away from heathens. Stop messing around with these heathens in all aspects, right? We get Jeremiah 10 and 2 real quick. Give me 1 second. So it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Don't try to do what heathens do, because you're going to fail every single time, right? Stop messing with these white women. Stop messing with these Asian women. Get with your own people. I understand it's hard. I get it, especially here in America, because why? A lot of our culture gets demonized. A lot of brothers today, sadly, it's true. A lot of brothers today, you view your woman as she's a whore, right? She's overly aggressive. She wants to try to dominate you. And I get it. As a man, you don't want to deal with that. You want a woman who's going to be submissive and kind and sweet, and someone that you can trust, and you don't have to battle her, right? You'll have disagreements, but talk it out. But you don't want to battle her, right? Well, sadly, that's how a lot of our sisters are raised up to be here in America. And I want to make it very clear, it's not all their fault. By default, women are going to follow what you do, right? So a lot of times, brothers, they show that they like whores. There was a sister not that long ago. I think I brought it up briefly in my last class. It was a sister who worked at Home Depot, and I guess her photo went viral. Shaq hit her up and all this other stuff, right? And apparently, there were people that were saying, oh, yeah, she should have an OnlyFans. I guess she declined it or whatever. But my thing is now, it's like, you say you want a woman who can cook and clean and be, put it in a term like this, be a freak in the sheets, but a lady in the streets. Like, what she do with you is what she do with you, but she presents herself like a woman in front of everybody else. She has some type of honor and dignity to her. But then, at the same time, y'all showing these sisters that y'all love whores. You subscribe to OnlyFans accounts. Y'all be commenting and all that stuff, following them on Instagram. That's what you do. So sisters see that. So in their mind, they're like, what's the point of me doing this if this is what they like? I'm going to do what they like.
And that's an issue, right? But now it's so many different things between slavery and, fathers not being in the household and women having to take the role of a man and a woman and having to raise a household all by herself. And of course, the house is going to be destroyed because there's no male figure there. The woman is going to do the best she can, but it ain't going to be perfect because she ain't got no man there to help her. And then she does get a man around. She's so destroyed and disappointed because of all the men she's had to deal with, lack of a father figure that she might have had, or a poor father figure, or lack of a father figure entirely. Now, let's say she do get a good man, she don't know what to do with him now. She'll drive him off, right? And then that brother will go get himself a white girl. He'll go get himself, he'll be a passport bro, go fly to a different country and get a wife over there, right? And now a lot of sisters are seeing like, oh, they don't even like this now. You see just the domino effect. It's crazy. And every single time we choose to deal with somebody who is not of our nation, it becomes an issue. One of the most recent ones, as I stated before in the beginning of the class, Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is an up-and-coming black actor, right? Who is, he's being faced with different accusations right now. Because the speculation is that he apparently, actually have the story right here. Apparently, get it right quick. The story is he choked out some white woman, right? That's apparently what the speculation is. And it says right here, new evidence, eyewitnesses in Jonathan Majors' assault case appear to tell a different story. So now she's saying that, he assaulted her and he choked her out, right? So let's read about this. Following Majors' most recent appearance in court, his lawyer has reportedly delivered additional compelling evidence that supports his innocence. So this white woman was saying that she got strangled by him. Let's keep going. Majors' lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, has reportedly submitted eyewitness reviews, phone records, credit card statements, and hours of surveillance and police body camera video that all prove her client's innocence as told to Insider. Her hope is that the misdemeanor assault charges get dropped now that they have this evidence, but if not, she and the Ant-Man star are prepared for trial. According to Chaudhry's evidence, there are multiple eyewitnesses who can attest that Majors never assaulted his now ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. So Grace Jabari was a white woman that he was dating at one point. Because a lot of times you see a lot of brothers, they make it, they get a little bit of money, and now you want to go date a heathen woman because you think, you're better off or something. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Just because she want to have sex with you don't mean that she loves you. That's the illusion that a lot of brothers go through, right? You think just because she wants to have sex with you that she loves you. Sorry, but it ain't. That's not cut, dry, and clear. A lot of these heathen women would love to have sex with you. That's the lust. Look what happened with Solomon. Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord, right? This is King Solomon, right? So, they just flocking to him. He got power. He got money. He has political power. Like, there's a lot of brothers that are rich. They don't have any power. This brother had power. He commanded armies. He had a kingdom. He ruled. So, of course, most women, they are attracted to somebody who has some type of power or authoritative presence. I mean, what more authoritative could you get at that time than King Solomon? So all these heathen women were coming from all over, and they were just flocking to him. And he was just taking them all on, right? And he thought that he was living the good life, but little did he know, he was, scratch that. He did know that he was doing evil in the eyes of the Lord. But sadly, as great of a man that Solomon was, at this point, this was his downfall. And he didn't care anymore. All he cared about was, I love me some heathen women. That's what he went for. So Jonathan Majors got himself, at the time, a woman of a different nation. And all it took was for her to cry her little white crocodile tears. Now, this brother is facing all these different accusations for a crime that he may not have even committed. Because to this day, they're still saying that they could not find any concrete evidence to prove that he actually assaulted her. I'm going to read a little bit more into this, right? It says, the driver of the car that took Majors and Jabari from a Brooklyn bar the night of the alleged assault, he's ready to testify that he never saw or heard Majors raise a hand or voice at Jabari, and that as Majors tried to get away from her,
she pulled on and ripped his coat. Keep going. A small group of women who recognized the Creed 3 star during the altercation hugged him and took a selfie with him in the midst of it. The bartender at Lucy's nightclub at the Moxie Hotel in Manhattan, who remembered Jabari's British accent and would testify that Jabari was having a great time and that he recalled no bleeding ear or bruised finger. So there's all these witnesses, right? This is a case, right? You got to prove your case. This woman is saying that this man assaulted her, but it's been shown that she had no bruises, no bleeding. Everybody who was around them said that no, like, the dude was chilling. They were having a good time. She was the one that ripped his coat. So that shows that she put her hands on him. And at no given point did anybody see that he put his hands on her. And you got to understand, if you strangle somebody, like, look, a grown man strangling a woman, a white woman at that, like, they don't have that much pigmentation in their skin. So if you bruise this person, you're going to see it. You ever seen anybody, like, what after the after effects of somebody getting strangled? You could see, like, the ring around their neck. They didn't have anything to prove that she got strangled. But despite the fact that they could not, to this day, they still can't prove that he did this. I pray the brother didn't. All right, I don't know him personally. I pray he didn't. I hope that he never got with the woman in the first place. But hey, you see it all the time. But as of right now, it has not been proven that Jonathan Majors has actually strangled this woman. And this ain't the first time, right? There's been plenty of times where there have been black athletes, black celebrities, whatever, and they get rape cases getting called on them, all different types of stuff, right? And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. There are some wicked, evil brothers out there. I'm not saying that this doesn't ever happen, but there are some times where it doesn't happen. But because in America, like, I'll tell you right now, you could be the richest black man on the planet. At the end of the day, you still black, and they're going to treat you a certain way. There's been plenty of times that brothers' careers have been jeopardized because somebody wanted to cry wolf. And what's crazy is, you can read it up yourself. There's been plenty of times like ex-football stars and whatnot came out. The woman came out later, years later, and said, okay, like, yeah, he actually never did that. I was just mad at him. At that point, I mean, the brother's life is ruined, right? Even if he does get out scot-free, you know how hard it is for him to adjust back into the real world, especially if you're an athlete. Like, I know, like, when I was in high school, when I used to run track, right? If I didn't run and I didn't practice for maybe, I'd give it like a week, right? A week, and I tried to come back the next week. I remember I got injured one time. I came back the next week, and I'm trying to run at the same speed as I used to. I'm like, dang, my calves hurt, man. Like, I'm getting a little tired, like, because you're not upkeeping it. So these athletes, they got to train constantly. Imagine being out of practice for 4 or 5 years. You can't get back in the game no more. You don't move the way you used to. You're not as agile and strong as you used to. You're a little older now. Career ended, right? So Jonathan Majors is yet another brother who is being accused of something that has yet to be proven. Now, here's the cold part, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel in general, right? They co-signed to this. They said that, oh, okay, yeah, I have heard something. I remember I seen a post saying that it's been reported that Jonathan Majors has been abusive on multiple accounts. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, if this was true, again, I don't know this man. I ain't saying he didn't do it. But in my mind, I'm like, well, if you knew that this brother was like this, why did you give him the role as King the Conqueror? Like, that's a big role. Marvel Cinematic Universe is like very big. They're like the main people who started the whole movies having a series line, right? Post-credit scenes and whatnot. So if you knew that this person was so horrible, why give him the role? Why? You knew the whole time, but you still cast him. And now all of a sudden you want to crucify the brother. So my thing is this. Why is it that a black man in America, who is an actor, a very well-known actor, who has yet to be proven guilty for a crime that it's still speculation if he really committed it with no concrete evidence, why is it that this brother is being crucified so much. Like everybody's trying to destroy his career like overnight. It happened so fast. Jonathan Majors got more publicity now than compared to when he was making his debut as, Marvel's next big up and coming villain. Why now? But then, hold on now. Now, this is the person I really wanted to get to. Then you have somebody by the name of Ezra Miller. For those of y'all who don't know who Ezra Miller is a white American man who played in the new Flash movie, right? Now, why am I talking about Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller has been proven over the years to have committed multiple crimes and offenses, and even has been stated to maybe or may not have a mental disorder. But despite all that, still got to walk the red carpet, still got to play and represent a very well-known comic book character, and they pushed it. They pushed and pushed. Like, this dude has been known to be crazy. Some of y'all might not know of the crimes that he's committed, so I'm going to read them for you. I got them right here, right? So this is Ezra Miller. So this is the first one. This is in June 2011. So this is 12 years ago. Ezra Miller is charged with marijuana possession. Okay, so it says, just before Miller's breakout role in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the actor was arrested and charged with marijuana possession on June 22nd, 2011, with police reporting that the actor was holding a brown vegetable material during C routine traffic stop. This is back in 2011. Marijuana possession. This is in April 2020. Ezra Miller appears to choke a woman outside of a bar. So hold on now. Jonathan Majors has been speculated to choke somebody, but it's yet to be proven. But this is actually shown that he actually has choked somebody. In April 2020, a video surfaced online of Miller appearing to choke. So you have it on video. To choke a woman at a bar in Slovakia. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this. I'll try my best. Don't butcher me. Reykjavik, Iceland. A source later confirmed to Verity that the incident was a serious altercation at the bar, and that Miller was escorted off the premises as a result. 2 years after the incident, the woman from the clip shared her side of the story with Variety, saying that her banter with the actor about getting into a fight was meant as a joke, but her friend appeared to antagonize the situation when he told Miller that he heard the actor didn't want to fight. So let's keep going. Now we go into January 2022. Ezra Miller delivers a cryptic message to the Ku Klux Klan in a since deleted Instagram video posted on January 27th. Miller appeared to threaten members of a Ku Klux Klan chapter in North Carolina. So I don't know if he threatened them. I mean, whatever. We don't care for the KKK anyway. Look, if y'all want to die, I suggest just killing yourselves with your own guns, okay? So I guess he's making threats. Now, this is a white hate group. This is a white supremacist group. All right, now, personally, I mean, if you ask me, if he's making threats to them, hey, so be it. I mean, the Lord will deal with them anyway. But I guess according to sources, he was making threats, right? So we'll keep going. March 2022, Ezra Miller is charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. On March 28th, Miller was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment over their alleged involvement in two separate incidences that happened at a karaoke bar in Hawaii. According to a news release from the Hawaii Police Department, officers responded to the unnamed bar on Silver Street in Hilo on March 27th at around 11:30 after reports of disorderly conduct. Police say that the actor got agitated by people singing karaoke at the bar and then started using a derogatory language. Hold on, it keeps going. March 2022, Ezra Miller gets a restraining order filed against him. On March 2009, two Hilo residents filed for a temporary, so this is at the same time. Residents filed a temporary restraining order against Miller, claiming that Miller harassed and threatened them, according to a court document obtained by police. It still keeps going. April 2022, Ezra Miller is arrested on a second-degree assault charge. Miller's illegal trouble continued as the actor was arrested and charged with second-degree assault on April 19th after being found during a traffic stop at the intersection. I don't know what this man was doing in Hawaii, but he was just causing all types of havoc over there. During the course of their investigation, police determined that the individual, later identified as Ezra Miller, became irate after being asked to leave and reportedly threw a chair, striking a 26-year-old woman, so he's out here beating women, on the forehead, and resulting in an approximate half-inch cut. But wait, there's more. Ezra Miller is accused of grooming. For those of y'all don't know what grooming is, I'm going to read it off for you, right? According to court documents filed on June 7th in Standing Rock's Sioux Tribal Court and obtained by People, attorney and activist Chase Iron Eyes and his pediatrician wife, Sarah Jumping Eagle, claimed that Miller has been manipulating and controlling their daughter, Dakota Iron Eyes, who uses she, they pronouns and goes by Gibson, since the two met at Standing Rock Reservation in North Dakota back in 2016. The parents claimed that Miller grooming their child from the age of 12 after taking an immediate and apparently innocent liking to them, adding that Miller exhibited a pattern of corrupting a minor, allegedly drugging their child over the years and displaying cult-like and psychological manipulative, controlling behavior. Okay, I know that was a mouthful. My point being is this. This is a white man who's been running amok for the past, since 2011, at least on record, 2011. It's 2023 now, so for the past 12 years, this white American actor has been shown to strangle people, assault people, groom children, drug children, shown to be a drug addict himself, has thrown a chair at somebody, argued with police officers, making multiple threats to people. I mean, the list goes on, right? So this man can do all of this and somehow still play a big role in the DC universe for the next up-and-coming movie. What y'all just showed was this. A black man in America can get accused of a crime, whether or not he did it, and you will tear him down. But a white American man can actually be proven to be a nutcase, and y'all will still promote this movie. I mean, am I lying here? So he can do all that. He can be violent. He can strangle people, be a drug addict, and a pedophile. No repercussions. It's okay. You want to know what they did? They deemed him as having a mental illness. They give him a babysitter now. This grown man who's been a menace to society since 2011. Y'all give him a babysitter. That man should be locked up. And then y'all have the audacity to complain that, well, the Flash movie didn't do very good. Of course it didn't do very good. No one wants to go watch this pedophile. No one wants to go watch this man after all the crimes that he has committed since 2011. And y'all thought that y'all was going to get away with that? But I'm not surprised. I could read more of the articles. I mean, it says August 2022, Ezra Miller is accused of burglary. Vermont State Police try to serve an emergency care order to mother staying at Ezra Miller's home. Ezra Miller reveals they're seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. I mean, come on, man. But this is a heathen. This is Esau. And he can do this, right? But yet people will say, well, there is no systematic racism here in America. There is systematic racism. These heathens can get away with certain stuff. Other nations of people can come to America and thrive. But yet, when we try to do something for ourselves, we get hit with, why don't you love everybody? God loves everybody. Don't you think it's a little racist? Like, matter of fact, it was Captain Quam. Captain Quam, not too long ago, when we were at camp, he was bringing out how we need to better ourselves as a people. And sadly, I'm not sure who this brother's father is, but sadly, it was who we believe is a brother, came up and started accusing him of being racist. So we're dumbfounded. We're like, wait a minute. We ain't even say the white man is the devil. We ain't even say that yet. I mean, he is the devil, but we're talking about just uplifting our people. That's it. And somehow you always have opposition from somebody else to come to us and say, well, don't y'all think that's a little racist? And then, of course, you can go watch the video. It's on YouTube. And Captain Quam answers his brother like, so you mean to tell me like black people should get off drugs and whatnot is racist? Me trying to uplift my people is racist? And of course, everybody's an expert on the Bible who don't even read the Bible. Brother answers and says, well, you know, the Bible says that we should forget. And of course, Captain Quam answers and says, the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. And of course, goes to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7, where it says, remember the days of old. Remember what happened to you. Because if you don't remember what happened to you, if you don't remember history, you are doomed to repeat it. Am I right or am I wrong? That's why you see all these other communities who come in here. You see the Koreans. The Koreans, they got Koreatown. Nobody is going to go to the Koreans and be like, you should love everybody. No, the Koreans are going to love their people. Chinese people can have a Chinatown damn near anywhere. They can set up shop in your neighborhood. No one's going to go to the Chinese and say, you guys should love everybody. They got Little Tokyo up here in California. No one's going to go to the Japanese and say, you guys should love everybody. No one goes to the Indians, the East Indians or people from India, and they're building up their communities and tell them, you guys should love everybody. Nobody says that. Nobody goes anywhere else. You don't go to the Arabians and say, you should love everybody. You don't go to the Filipinos and say, you should love everybody. No one goes to the Samoans or the Tongans or the Fijians or Polynesian people and say, you should love everybody. Nobody says that. They are free to practice their culture and their history in their communities. But when you see black people or Latinos trying to build up their people, now we're the ones who get hit with it. Then they say, well, what about black on black crime? Yeah, I got something for you. What about Asian on Asian crime? No, seriously. I know you're like, well, wait, that doesn't happen. No, it does. Look, I'm just going to say it. A lot of these little, some of y'all might know what I'm talking about because we've all heard it. At least I've heard it. These little massage parlors, them little Asian places or whatever. You let's be real. A lot of us know that there's a little something going on in there. Why do you think a lot of police officers go there and y'all ever hear of a sting? A police sting is when they raid the place for prostitution. And a lot of them, they'll kidnap these women, Asian people, kidnapping Asian people, forcing them into prostitution, right? Isn't that a crime? I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Isn't that a crime? Because I know damn well if a black person does that, or they're going to jail, both him and her, or her and her. I don't know. You're going to jail. That's black on black crime, right? Well, so what about Asian on Asian crime? You think that there aren't Asian people that kill Asian people? You think that there are Indians who kill other Indians? You don't think that happens? Because it happens, right? But no one is going to oppose other nations. But when we try to come together, they'll try to oppose us, right? What you got to understand is you will never be like these people. Never. You will never be like these people. You are under a different law. The law, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, right? I can go, let's see. I got a little bit more time. I'll briefly go over, let's go to Judges. Let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 16, right? So I can. So we'll go to Judges. Some of y'all probably already know where I'm about to go right now. What is going on? So like, give me 1 second. Okay. So this is the book of Judges. Give me 1 second. There it is. Oops. Let's move. So the book of Judges, chapter 16 and verse 1. So this is 16 and verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza and saw there an harlots. So harlots is also a strange woman, and went in unto her, meaning he had sex with her. And it was told that the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the 2 posts that went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of the hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. So Samson was a brother, and he saw a strange woman, aka a harlot. Now he fell in love with a woman named Delilah. Now, who was Delilah? Let's go to verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines, these are Hamites. Delilah was a Hamite, a strange woman, came up unto her and said unto her, entice him, meaning, what's the word? Seduce him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith they mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Now, you keep reading, right, through the chapter 16, right? This is a perfect example of why you should never mess with a heathen woman. This heathen woman, long story short, ended up being the main reason of Samson's demise. People like to say, oh, it's because his hair got cut off, right? No, it's not that simple. And you go over Proverbs 31 since we are on women. I might get to it before I close the class, so I got you. So my point being is he was messing with a strange woman, a Philistine woman, and this is Samson. Samson is strong. He's been known through generations and generations for his might, for his strength, right? And this is the same man who was pretty much breaking people's faces with the jawbone of a donkey. You know how strong you got to be to do some mess like that? Well, this brother ended up dying because he ended up messing with this heathen woman. People think it's because his hair got cut. No. It really was because he was messing with a heathen woman who was manipulating him, gave the weakness to the Philistines, ambushed them. Samson went out. He went out like a G. I'll give him that much. He took them Philistines with him, but the point is he died, though. Brother didn't need to die. He didn't need to die. I'm paraphrasing. Even his own father asked him, like, do you not want a woman of your own nation from the seed of your father? Now, people who lack understanding might think, like, wait, you talking about your sister? No, it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from your nation, all right? From your nation. And you can go to, I believe it's Tobit 4 and 12. not gonna go into that because there's always somebody who loves to oppose interracial marriages in the Bible, right? You're not supposed to be doing that stuff. So I'll go over Tobit 4 and 12 real quick, and I'll get that. I'll read that verse for you real quick. Tobit, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. So whoredom, right? Lust. The point was that Jonathan Majors was just like any other brother, and he lusted after a woman who was not of his own nation. And he's still suffering for it. The cold part is he still has not been convicted of a crime. Y'all do understand that, right? Whereas Ezra Miller, I mean, I just read y'all a long list of all the crimes that this man has committed and still continues to commit. No repercussions. But a black man, with money, who's loved, this is the same man that at one point they were saying he's the sexiest man in the world. Y'all loved him until somebody cried a little fake tears, a white woman, and now y'all hate him. That's all it takes, right? Brothers need to understand that, right? Stop lusting after the world. Whoredom can be sleeping with whorish women, but whoredom is also indulging in cultures and traditions that are not of the Lord, right? I'm paraphrasing. The Lord said that we as Israel have played the harlot. We were the whore because we didn't want to remain loyal to the Most High, so we started looking at what the Africans were doing, what the Indians were doing, what the Japanese were doing, what the Malaysians were doing, what the Polynesians were doing, what white people do. We want to see what everybody else does, to the point where we lost our heritage and our culture. Now we got all these conspiracy theories. Now you got brothers who think that they're Egyptian. I see brothers who, now, Native Americans are Israelites. However, there are brothers today, specifically brothers of the southern tribes, who are descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. Sadly, we were taken from different points of West and Central Africa and brought over here, right? Now there are brothers who are so confused, they're saying, no, we are the real Native Americans. The Native Americans that you see of today are all fake. They all come from Siberia. I'm like, how did you come up with that? But that's what happens. You got brothers who believe in Kemet. You got brothers who believe in, zodiac signs. Now they're saying that we the real Chinese, we're the real Vikings. And I'm like, whatever it is that y'all smoking, please get up off of it. So it's getting out of hand. But this is due to confusion because we lost our heritage. We lost everything. We don't know who the hell we are now. Now we go by bywords. Now you go by black. You go by Latino. Some brothers call themselves native. The thing is, you wasn't even calling yourself native before the Europeans came along. Now we go by different nationalities. Go by Jamaican, Trinidadian. You go by Mexican. You go by Brazilian. You go by all these different nationalities. You don't know what they are. All these different nationalities happen because of colonization. We lost our heritage so much, we're just going to cling on to, whatever we think we are. And that's what happens. That is what happened. And that is what's going to continue to happen if you choose to deal with these heathens. I'm going to finish this verse. Let me get to your verse in a second. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not here's that word again, strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets. No. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed, and their children and their seed shall inherit the land. So we'll just get that out of the way real quick, right? So the brother asked the question, Proverbs 31 and 3. Let me get that for you. You said you had a question. So Proverbs 31 and 3. Let's see. So let's see. Can you go over Proverbs 31 and 3 since we are on women? So this Proverbs 31 and 3. The words, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So if I may ask, so what exactly is your question on that verse?
If you can just type it in real quick if you got a chance. Because I believe I understand what you may be asking, where it says, "Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings." I just want to make sure I know exactly what you're asking first before I start answering it. Does that mean don't be a sucker? I mean, yeah, in a sense, yeah. Like, don't be weak. Like, when it says, "Give not thy strength unto women," meaning, like, you're a man, right? A man is supposed to be authoritative. A man is supposed to protect. You're the head of the household, in a sense, right? So don't give that role to your wife. Like, she's not equipped for that. Like, I had this breakdown a little bit earlier last weekend, talking about how, paraphrasing, like, "I suffer not a woman to teach." Now, that doesn't mean that a woman can't, like, teach certain things. Of course she can teach certain things, right? You can read in Titus. You can go to Titus and read about how elderly women, and they can teach younger generations of women, or just women in general, how to be a woman, right? Like, a mother teaches their kids. You understand? When we say "suffer not a woman to teach," meaning like the Bible. Like, you're not supposed to have a sister come up here and do what I'm doing right now. That's why you see, like, a lot of Christian pastors who are women, or a Christian pastor you already destroyed, but a woman Christian pastor, yeah, that's just pure, like, no, you don't do that, right? But it says, "Don't give your strength." Like, don't give her the role of being the, I guess, how do I say this? She wears the pants in the family. Like, nah, don't do that, right? "Nor the ways that which destroyeth the kings." Well, there were kings before us. Like, there's, Solomon, who loves strange women. And strange women isn't just heathen women; it's also like whores. He was probably with sisters that were whores, and he got with them, and he started doing what they wanted him to do. How do you tell a woman pastor she can't teach, sir? Easy. You go to the scripture that says, "I suffer not a woman to teach." Simple. Like, that's like an easy cut. Let me see. Remember off the top of my head. Let me see. I believe that's in 1 Timothy 2:12. So yeah, I mean, that's like an easy cut. 1 Timothy. I'll read it for you real quick, Doc, and then because there's a couple of other verses beyond that you could easily just cut with. So there's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. "But I suffer not a woman to teach," meaning you're not a pastor. Like, you're not a pastor, you're not a prophet. I know, oh, okay. You go into the Bible, you're going to see a word, right? It's called prophetess. Now, again, they don't understand the Bible. They see prophetess and think, female prophets. I'm a prophet too. No. You go into the etymology of the word prophetess in the Hebrew, right? And one of the meanings of it is wife of a prophet. That's what that means. Like, she's not a prophet. She's the wife of a prophet, right? And I actually can read it for you right now. So we're going to look up prophetess to debunk that whole, a woman can be a prophet nonsense. Prophet. So, I believe it's pronounced Nabaya. And let's see. Prophetess. An inspired woman, by implication a poetess, by association a prophet's wife. Nowhere in it says that she could teach the Bible, though. That's not what that means. I'm going to go back to 1 Timothy 2:12. "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp." We broke this down last week. Usurp authority over the man,
but to be in silence. Now, what does this mean? Usurp means to, in a sense, like, let me get the actual definition for you, just so that there's no confusion. Okay, so it says to, to usurp. Give me a second. Okay, so usurp, to seize and hold. This is office, place, functions, powers, and possession by force or without right. To take or make use of without right. To take the place of, by, or as if by force. To seize or exercise authority or possession wrongfully. So that's what it means to usurp, right? So a woman's not supposed to usurp authority over her man. She is under her man. Now it also says, again, let's see, suffering to be in silence. Verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve, the man before the woman. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. So now this is why the Lord, he don't want a woman to teach, because from the beginning, as I brought up earlier, Eve, like the snake didn't go to Adam. Let this be known. This isn't Disney. It wasn't a talking snake. No, this was like how black people say, like, you a snake. You're sly. You're mischievous. You're deceiving. This was a man who was described as a snake. And he went to the woman when she was alone too. When she didn't have any protection, when Adam wasn't around. Because that snake of a man knew, like put it like this. When somebody tries to get your woman, they ain't going to go to you when you're there. They're going to go to your woman when she's alone, when she's vulnerable, right? That's why they say, like, men like that prey upon women. So, Salakia Baba Kasha, will you be in the house? Brothers will be down there. Salakia, I'm gonna have to take care of some stuff, Salakia. But I hope that answers your question, Knox. So, in a sense, like, to answer your question from Proverbs 31:3, you don't give your power as a man to your woman. That's what that means. And this is like an easy cut for any, female pastor out there who thinks that they can teach the Bible and they can hold authority and they're a prophetess. You start like anybody can use that. I've seen people use it and they start running away from it. Now you can't answer the questions directly anymore. So it's an easy cut. But I hope that answers your question. No sweat out. All right, but with that, we'll be closing the class. To watch for everybody that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. With that, shalom.